the trauma imprint. The trauma imprint is what, I don't know, for me, it makes more sense if I call the trauma imprint is what we carry within the body, the fascia system, the trauma that sits there, the trauma imprint. And I've been studying, and what I've learned is that we already know about generational trauma. We already know trauma sits in the body. And if you connect that to the fascia system and generational trauma, we know as children, we mimic the behaviors of our caregivers. We already know that's true. We also know that we get disease, behaviors, personality traits, whatever, all from our parents or our caregivers or our childhoods or the things that we experience. We already know this. The trauma imprint is where it's all stored. So if you connect it to generational trauma, my caregiver, my grandmother, if we as children mimic our caregivers' behavior and everything that they teach us because we experience life with them, we mimic them, especially as children and in our formative years. Well, my grandma already had her own trauma imprint from her caregivers, and whatever she experienced through her life added to that imprint. So that when I got with her at a very young age of 4, I obviously started mimicking her trauma imprint, right? It's natural. We mimic. That's what we do. So then I leave her home and I go out on my own in my own life from whatever age I leave, 15, to my own, all throughout my adulthood, and add to that trauma imprint. And since trauma sits within the fascia system, which is everywhere and touches everything, my body starts to take a form, right? My body becomes the shape of my trauma imprint. Okay? Back issues, migraine, anxiety, all the issues that happen within us, whether they are physical or emotional, psychological. Okay? That's my trauma imprint, right? I've been carrying it for my whole life. And for people that say they don't have trauma, honey, birth is trauma. It's the first trauma imprint from the womb out. Trauma. So the body initially, straight from the womb, receives trauma in the body. Then we go out from the womb to our caregivers. Not only do we take their trauma imprint and put it that is automatically by default in our bodies, then we go out, grow up, have our own experiences, and add to that trauma imprint in the body. So of course we don't feel good. Of course, our body hurts everywhere. Of course, we have issues. Of course, the way that we think is toxic. Of course, the way we show up is toxic because it's flowing everywhere within us. It's as if we didn't have a chance. And if we don't know that, or if we don't understand that, of course, we cannot be kind to ourselves. Of course, we cannot extend ourselves grace. Of course we feel shame. Of course we feel guilty because we still keep showing up the way that we show up, our trauma behaviors, because we cannot help it. It is in our wiring. It is in our design. Heard that before? Well, honey, for me, I connect that to the entire fascia system since that is everywhere. It is like a spider web, and the spider web holds it all together. So what we experience externally affects the human body, mind, and soul. And that is the craziest shit to me once I connected it. Of course, people can't be kind to themselves. Of course, people can't find joy, happiness, love, peace. Of course, people can't have and build the lives they want if they walking around carrying these trauma imprints. Of course. And of course, no matter how long I talked about it in talk therapy, I still exhibited some behaviors. It helped. It did. It helped a lot. Talk therapy is necessary. And if you have or feel some type of way about therapy and therapists, then you need a friend or something because you have to get the shit out some way. So all of those modalities, like I keep saying, are an essential. They are necessary. But if you work shit from the fascia system, I personally believe after you start working the fascia system, you start moving that out of the body. The other modalities are like maintenance, if you will, because what I'm experiencing, what I realize is that, yeah, my nervous system is regulated and I feel phenomenal. I feel like my body feels like it's an infant again. I can bend in ways that, what the fuck? Like I dead ass will be doing a typical stretch, calisthenic stretch, military veteran, right? I'll be doing things that I already know to do, but my body responds and reacts. It's as if it's on its own. It's hilarious. It's crazy. Honestly, I feel phenomenal, and my brain is so clear. How else could I build all this in 60 days? But when you work the fascia system, you're working the whole human form at the same time. That's why change is so rapid. And so the other modalities, they are absolutely essential because they work different parts of the body and they focus on different areas within the body that are also essential. But what I've realized is that now that my nervous system is consistently regulated and my head is clear and my mind and everything else in my body, is that all of those things, all of the I smoked for 20 some odd years. That pull, even though I quit, that pull was always in the back of my mind. It was in the back of my craving was always there. And what I've noticed, and this is what he talks about at the Human Garage, is why he says it works addiction, is because that is gone. But what still remains is the behavioral part of it, which is why all the other modalities and therapies and all of that is still necessary. Because once you calm the nervous system and you start working with the fascia system and getting it out of the body, you still need to know what to do with it all. You still need to know how to manage the behaviors and the thoughts and the things that you have been experiencing for whatever the age is that you are. I'm currently 43. So for 43 years, I found ways to feel good. I found ways to numb. I found all of that. All of that still exists like within me, not the desire to do it at all. My body, my mind, my spirit is satiated. You also need to look, he did a 44-day fast. Right. I haven't, but I understand how he was able to do it because my entire existence seems to be satisfied, satiated. It's as if, because with the fascia system, all that trauma, the emotions, the pain, it sits in the system. And the system is organically designed to be more gel-like, again, 90% collagen, okay? Elastin. So the original form is intended like a baby to be flexible, to be mobile, to be bendable. And with trauma and pain throughout the years, what happens when it doesn't move like we know, it gets stuck. Well, fascia becomes like glue, becomes rigid, becomes hard within the body, stiff, if you will. So when you start working the system, it I don't even know if I can use the word rejuvenates, but it's collagen. So what happens is all that trauma unlocks all of that energy flows, whatever you want to call it. Well, it does it within the body, so the body becomes like a baby again. And what I've realized is that my just like if you go to the gym and you build muscle, or if you lose weight or whatever, and the form changes, same with this system. And it's like it's flowing or melting or relaxing into the form it was intended to be. So I feel satiated everywhere. It's the oddest feeling. But I still work out. I still do the things that I need to do. Everything just comes organically. It's as if my body wants to. So me not, looking at it from the approach of, I have to stop eating cheeseburgers. I have to stop eating dairy. I have to stop. You don't have to hit it from that approach. When you work with the fascia system, it's as if my body just, that's what it desires. So it organically does. It's the only way I can explain it. It's very, very odd. But I do not have to want or need to do anything. It's as if my body is doing it on its own. So I understand why he's saying this works addiction, this works stress, this works all the other things, regardless of whether you are already doing other modalities, other ways to be healthy. If you don't know what a modality is, it's beneficial. But working from this level, you're working from a whole human body perspective. And when you do that, it's as if the body responds in an extremely positive way, as if it's been waiting for it. I cannot explain, but that is what my platforms will be. Because what happens when you start releasing, unlocking that trauma imprint within the human form, all of that starts to move out of the body, and the body starts to feel phenomenal, and it happens quick. You need to do something with that energy, with that toxicity that you are trying to get out of you. You have to do something with it. You need to move. You need to exercise. You need to talk therapy. You need to go to yoga. You need to take salt baths. Whatever your belief system is, you still need to do that when you work with this, because when I tell you this shit releases quickly and it happens and you feel better, drastically better, fast, you have to have somewhere to go to deal with that. That is where I come in. My mission, my purpose. Not only educate people about this system and working with the system and learning how to assist people who cannot do it for themselves with working with this system. You're going to need someone to help walk you right into the change, walk you right through the transformation. That's where I come in. Everything he's teaching for free. Everything I'm going to show and teach for free. This is my lane for coaching. This is my lane. I want to help people, because once you start releasing this, you need to understand what to do with it, how to deal with it. And if you can't do the very easy maneuvers to start unlocking, releasing the trauma, you're going to need somewhere to go so that someone can help you through that. But if you really want change, release, transformation on everything that I stand on and love, this is it. In conjunction with things that you currently already know how to do. And if you don't, I will teach it. But if you are ready to really heal, transform, change, whatever you want to call it, and you have ever listened to me, believed me about anything, this is it. And these small maneuvers regulate the nervous system quickly. So once you start learning the small maneuvers, you need to start sharing that with your children so that they can start their day with a regulated nervous system. You do it for 3 days, not even these small maneuvers. When you think about it, don't even make it a big deal, just small maneuvers throughout your day. And when you feel that first release unlock and you start seeing and feeling as good as I do, and it happens very quickly, you need to quickly turn around and share that with your children. This is how we save them. I do not know how I know. I do not know why it feels so very fucking true to me, but I know it to be true. And I know this is how people can start feeling better, to get that initial release, the let go of it all. I know it to be true, and I do not know how, but I am going to find a fucking way to teach it, to show everybody. This is it, guys. This is how we feel good. This is how we let go. This is how you find joy. This is how you get happiness. This is how you get peace. This is how you get love. But first, you have to do it within yourself. And you cannot do that until you come out of a triggered state. Have empathy, compassion, and love for what you are currently doing. You are trying. You are doing the best you can. You are showing up the best you can. But what you need to learn to accept is that, yes, you are doing the best that you can, but the trauma behaviors and the way that you are showing up in your life are still not only affecting you, but the people you love. And it is time to feel better. So you ain't got to believe me. Just watch me, and I will show you, and you will see.